thank everyone for coming out. This Saturday, live on Showtime at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, live from the Barclays Center here in New York. We have limited tickets available still. Everyone needs to go out. It's going to be a great, great night of boxing. This card features 4 championship boxing. The opening series of televised will feature Thomas Delorme versus Brian Jones, Yevgen Kitrov versus Emmanuel Oline, and last but not least, Amanda Serrano versus Yasmin Rivas. And that's going to be a very, very exciting bout. And it's for the WBO Junior Featherweight Championship. And it'll be airing live on Showtime Extreme at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The Showtime televised opener will be an exciting matchup with none other than the very, very exciting Jose the Sniper Pedraza. He'll be fighting the very exciting Mayweather Promotions own, the young, exciting Gervonta Tank Davis. Hard work. Dedication. Our event is headlined by none other than the WBC Super Middleweight Champion, BADOU Jack the Ripper. He'll be facing the very, very talented IBF Super Middleweight World Champion, James Chunky DeGALE. And this will be a great, great fight, and it's the unification bout, the best versus the best. Our event is headlined by, promoted by Mayweather Promotions and DeGALE Entertainment, and sponsored by Corona. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very exciting card, and we're really looking forward to a great night of boxing. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the president of Mayweather Promotions, Floyd Mayweather.
I wish I was the CEO, but I want to thank everybody for let me drink a little water. I want to thank everybody that came out to support this event. But the main thing I want to do is thank the fighters. Because without the fighters going out there day in and day out, racking up victories, we wouldn't be here today for this explosive card. I commend James DeGALE on his career. One hell of a job. BADOU Jack, very humble, very appreciative, very dedicated to his craft, awesome. The Sniper, unbelievable fighter, very crafty. Gervonta Tank Davis, power in both hands. So Saturday, we're looking for another great night of boxing. I truly believe Saturday would be one of the best cards of this year. And this is the first fight of this year, championship boxing. We got so many newcomers, so many new faces that Mayweather Promotions has added to our promotion company. We just signed Delorme right there. To my right, but to y'all left, I mean, we look forward to taking him to that next level and hopefully becoming world champion also. But everything takes time. Nothing happens overnight. Everything takes time. We started Mayweather Promotions to give back and help fighters. We wanted to change the game totally. It's about giving back, helping fighters, not taking from fighters. How can a promoter know how a fighter feel if he's never been in a fighter's shoes before, or if he's never been in a fighter position before? I've been there, so I know how he feel. I know how he feel. I've been there before. I done fought in unification bouts. I done fought for my first world title. So I know what it takes. It takes a lot. But a lot of times what we do is talk about just the fighters. Let's talk about the team. The team has to stay up day in and day out. The team has to make sure these guys make weight. The team has to make sure these guys are on a curfew. So it takes a lot to build a card of this magnitude. It took a while for these two guys to come together. And one thing about me, I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. When I first signed Gervonta Tank Davis, I told him, in under 2 years, you will be fighting for a world championship. And you will be on TV. His first fight, pay-per-view. 5 fights later, he's fighting for a world title. It's about producing. And what we do at Mayweather Promotions, we produce. We make things happen. You have to work with us, and everything takes time. Everything. Am I coming back? Absolutely not. I want to live through these fighters. It's not about the promoter getting a lion's share. It's about the fighters winning and growing and accomplishing their dreams. That's why we started Mayweather Promotions. I'm well off. But it's nothing like giving back to these fighters. That's the greatest feeling. Every night I go to bed. Even when a fighter calls my phone and say, you know what, Floyd, I have to work a 9 to 5. And you know what I tell them? Do what you have to do. I'm still going to support you, but if you need my help, we're here. We're here. That's what it's about. I want to commend Mayweather promotion staff for working so extremely hard, day in and day out. I've never even been to the Mayweather Promotions office, never. But I know I got a great team, because if I didn't have a great team, we wouldn't be here today. I know there's so many different sponsors that's covering this event, so let me turn back and look. We got Corona. Like I said, we got GMT. Gotta say that. I want to thank Barclays, but I also want to thank the fans in the UK for supporting this man right here, James DeGALE. Continue to stand behind him after January 14th, because we don't know what could happen. That's why we're here, for the best to fight the best. Right now, my honest opinion, this is the best fighter in the UK. He's facing one of the best fighters in the world. Both of these guys are hell of a fighters. And I'm so proud of BADOU Jack. The first time I seen BADOU Jack in the gym, I seen him boxing. I said, who is he working with? I didn't care who he was working with. When a guy sacrificed taking a bus, flying from overseas to come to the U.S. to accomplish his dreams, taking a bus to the boxing gym every day, brought his girlfriend, because that was his girlfriend at that particular time. She's still behind him. And we need more women like your wife in this world today. Walking to the gym with him every day. Taking a bus to the gym with him every day. Standing behind him, believing. And I told him with patience, we will make it happen. I don't know how long it took. I don't think it took that much time. But one thing about BADOU Jack, he never cried, he never complained. Every time we put an opponent in front of him, he never said nothing. He's not like these fighters. Oh, I want to fight him. Oh no, I want to fight him. He just go out there. He's just like Nike. Go out there and do it. Same for this guy right here. Now that's what we bring these two together. This card is going to be a hell of a card. One hell of a card. And so I know people that's tuning in social media, and for the people that's tuning in live, tune in Saturday for this unification bout. Tune in Saturday for this 130-pound bout. The one versus the sniper. This is one hell of a doubleheader, but we cannot forget Showbox. Is it Showbox, Leonard? Showtime Extreme. I want to make sure I'm right. I'm one of the sharpest knives in the drawer. Like I said before, you know, I may make a mistake. We all know God only made one thing perfect. It's my boxing record. I want to commend James DeGALE team and say you guys done one hell of a job. Lou DeGALE, for so many years. I've been knowing Lou DeGALE 20, 21 years now. And when I first went to Lou, I told Lou, crazy story, I told Lou, Lou, you know I'm gonna break all records in boxing. You know I'm gonna be the biggest fighter in boxing history. He probably looked at me like, huh? I said, yeah. I said, in due time. So every time I watch a boxing match on TV, when it was on HBO, but that's when HBO was the A side. There's no disrespect to HBO. You know, we willing to work with anybody. Every time I see a fighter fight, even if he wasn't world champion and he looked good, I would go out there and run. I would go to the boxing ring and train. And that's what every guy up here has done. They dedicated themselves to the sport of boxing to get to this plateau. To go out there and perform at the highest heights. It's still levels to grow for all these young fighters up here. There's still levels to grow. First you say, I want to get on TV. Then you say, I want to move from TV to Showtime, or I want to move from TV to HBO. I want to move up. It's about levels, moving up. But the ultimate goal is to become a pay-per-view star. And if you can't become a pay-per-view star, accomplish what you want to accomplish, what you feel comfortable with accomplishing. All the different social media outlets, I want to say thank you for supporting this event. Team DeBella, Team DeGALE, BADOU Jack, you part of my team. Javante Tank Davis, go out there and be the best that you can be Saturday night. Mayweather Promotions. With all fighters in boxing, you're going to go through ups and downs. But the main thing is we keep fighting. We keep working hard. That's what this is all about. I want to say thank you to the Barclays. Thank the whole city of Brooklyn. Thank the whole city of New York for just supporting us. Mayweather Promotions. We are the past, the present, and the future of sports and entertainment. And we are here to stay. So make room for us. I want to thank everybody for supporting this event. Tune in Saturday. Jack versus DeGALE, unification bout. and may the best event win. Thank you.
Thank you, Floyd. I'd like to acknowledge the Barclays Center, especially Brent Yormack and his staff for the wonderful hospitality for myself and my team. We've had a wonderful promotion. I'd like to thank my staff for all their hard work. And I'd like to thank and bring up to the podium Lou DeGALE, and I'd like to acknowledge his wonderful team. It's a great joy to work with professionals and to be able to execute and bring you this great promotion. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the president of DeGALE Entertainment, none other than Lou DeGALE.
This is as good as it gets for boxing. You know, to start the year with the best fighting the best. And not just the best fighting the best in the main event, though this main event is unbelievable. You have the two best 68-pounders in the world. BADOU Jack is a terrific fighter. I've known him for years and years. Tremendous respect for him. You know, he took an obstacle in his career. He leapt over that, and he made himself a better fighter with every fight, to the point that now he is unquestionably one of the best fighters in the world. You know, the man to my left, Olympic gold medalist, champion, compelling personality, also has the right to call himself the best. And it's Saturday night, only one of them is going to walk out of that ring with the right to say, I am the best. It's as good as it gets. Floyd talked about Pedraza and Davis. We'll talk about that fight later. Terrific. The entire card from top to bottom is terrific, and that's for the fans. And so is the pricing in this card. It was something that was important to Floyd and to myself to start the year with a great fight card that's affordable. So VIP seats are, you know, $300 and under. You can get in the arena for $25. That's good for boxing fans. That's good for the sport, and that's good for this card. And that's why people are responding. We're going to have a big crowd on Saturday night. I want to echo the thanks to the Barclays Center, to Brent Yormack. You know, the thing that's differentiating the Barclays Center is their dedication to a regular boxing program. You know, not just a couple of big fights a year, but a regularity of big fights, a commitment to the sport. So we thank them for that. I want to thank Showtime, but I also want to point out that Showtime really now has established itself as the premier premium cable boxing network in the United States. And that's an important distinction, sort of, because Steven Espinoza, Showtime's not out there pushing events to pay-per-view where the fan has to spend $70 for a couple of hours of entertainment, hopefully with a good main event. The best fights on Showtime are on Showtime. And for that, we should all be grateful to Steven Espinoza and to Showtime. Lastly, I want to thank Floyd and Leonard. But, you know, what Floyd said is the truth. We had that meeting way when he was a kid. He was literally a little kid. It goes back to him being in the HBO building when he was an Olympian. And he always believed he was going to be the best, and one of the best ever. And he lived up to his word. He did what he said he was going to do. And that's what makes a champion a great champion. And now he's committed himself to being a boxing promoter, and it's been an extreme pleasure working with Mayweather Promotions on this event. They're a real promotional company. They're here to stay. This is not some vehicle for a star. This is a business person who surrounded himself by good people, who wants to be a major force in the boxing promotional business. And I can tell you from what I've seen here, he's hot. By the way, you're also, I know you're an equal opportunity employer because you have some amazingly talented women working for your company, and I want to thank them because, you know, Floyd's staff, they're really good people to work with. It's been a very good experience working with them, and I'll hand it back off to Leonard. Thank you.
Before I call Stephen up, I'd like to acknowledge Eddie Hearn. He's the promoter of Matchroom Boxing. He's done a phenomenal job with James DeGale's career. He has a wonderful stable of fighters. They are leading the way. They have a number of great world champions. So give him a round of applause. Can't say enough about this next gentleman. He's giving Mayweather Promotions a wonderful opportunity to put on great events. And like my dear friend Lou said, Showtime is leading the way when it comes to boxing. They put on the best fights. And that Stephen has taken an integral role in making this happen. And with the great ladies fight we have on this card, Stephen, this is something that he believed in, and I think this is the start of something very, very big when it comes to women's boxing. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Stephen Espinosa, the Executive Vice President and General Manager of Showtime Sports.
Thank you, Leonard. I want to spend a couple minutes talking about what this event is not, what these fights are not. These fights are not mismatches. This isn't a star fighter in a showcase fight. These aren't tune-ups leading to another tune-up, leading to someday a fight that may or may not happen. This isn't a pound-for-pound top 10 fighter fighting a guy who's 2 weight classes below. That's not what Showtime Boxing is about. That's not what Mayweather Promotions is about. That's not what Lou DeGALE about or Eddie and Matchroom were about. This is about the best fighting the best. Champion versus champion. No long negotiations, no excuses, just high quality competitive fights. These are the kinds of fights that fans and the media have been asking for. The main event, the two top guys in the division, #1 versus #2, or #1 versus #1, if you prefer. It's the best fighting the best. And our co-feature, two talented, exciting, undefeated fighters, one a world champion, the other a promising, young rising star. Again, the best fighting the best. Our main event on Extreme, the first women's fight on US English language TV in over a decade. It's long overdue, and it's a matchup that's deserving of it. One of the top pound-for-pound female fighters in the sport, Amanda Serrano, taking on a very tough 3-time world champion, Yasmin Rivas. Also on Extreme, we've got, with Yevgen and Emmanuel, an undefeated prospect against an undefeated prospect. Top to bottom, this is a high-quality card. You know, in the recent past, we've been spoiled. The sport of boxing and its fans have been spoiled. We had one of the all-time greats in the sport, one of the biggest sports stars the sport has ever seen, and he's carried the sport for the last decade. He marketed himself, he did his own social media, he wrote his own headlines virtually, he almost, you know, was writing his own stories. In the sport of boxing, and all of us within the sport were the beneficiaries. Well, he's retired now, at least, you know, until we successfully try to talk him out of it. But for the moment, you know, he's running his promotion business and several other businesses. And now it's time for the sport to find new stars. And these are the kinds of fights that launch new stars. These are where stars are born. #1 versus #2, champion versus champion, top pound-for-pound fighter versus former world champion, undefeated champion versus undefeated rising young star. These are the fights that the sport needs. These are the fights that create new stars. Showtime Extreme, 7 p.m. Eastern Pacific. Showtime Championship Boxing, 9:30 Eastern and Pacific. And who knows, you might see a new star born on Saturday night. Thank you.
Leonard's going to introduce the Mayweather Promotions fighters that are on the undercard, but I wanted to talk a little bit about. Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about the undercard. The off-TV undercard features 3 fighters that are major ticket sellers and have been fighting regularly in New York City for a number of years and have developed big followings. Adam Kaunacki, 14-0 heavyweight from Brooklyn, New York, born in Poland. He's a two-time New York Golden Glove champion, turned pro in 2009. He's just moving himself into that contender sort of category. Adam has a huge following in New York City, and you're going to see a lot of people with red shirts and Polish flags on Saturday night. Julian Sosa, undefeated from Brooklyn, New York, a welterweight, trained by his dad, Aureliano Sosa, who's one of the most well-known trainers in the New York area. 21 years old, a big prospect, again, has a very, very big following. And lastly, Noel Murphy, born in County Cork, Ireland, Irish national champion as an amateur, and he's making his second appearance at the Barclays Center. So the off-TV part of the undercard, you know, and Leonard will tell you a little bit more about some other fighters on the card, is sensational. And then we get to Showtime Extreme, which is a card that's, you know, could stand on its own if it wasn't sitting below a card of this magnitude. The first fight features a fighter that I promote, Yevgen Petrov. He's undefeated at 14-0. He turned pro in December 2013. He's now ranked number 2 by the WBC. He's also co-promoted by Fight Promotions Inc., by the way. He won the NABF title in 2015. He's a 3-time veteran with 3 victories on Showbox. He had an incredible amateur record with 500 amateur fights and over 450 victories. He's fighting a young man from Richmond, Virginia. And I know Richmond really well because I'm president of the Richmond Flying Squirrels, the AA baseball team in Richmond, Virginia. The 23-year-old Emmanuel Aline was born in Long Island, had 2 big wins in 2 big fights in 2016, one of which was a big win over 17-1 Jonathan Cepeda. Emmanuel's undefeated. These are 2 undefeated middleweights fighting for the WBC Silver Championship. So it's a very significant fight for the middleweight division. I see Emmanuel Aline. Emmanuel, you want to raise your hand? Stand up. There we go, right here, Emmanuel Aline. And Yevgen, Eugene, you're out? Petrov? Well, he's in the room somewhere, but he's also in the room. So both of them are in the room. It's a terrific fight. The winner of this fight is going to be sitting at the top in the WBC rankings. And then the main event on Extreme is somewhat historic. This is the first time that a women's championship fight has been on national TV in over a decade. And it's a real move by Stephen Espinosa and Showtime Sports to make the point that women's boxing has arrived and that it's time to pay attention to the ladies. The challenger in the fight is a 3-time world champion herself. She proudly represents Mexico. Yasmin Rivas, would you like to come up for a second? Can someone translate? Ricardo, can you translate for Yasmin? What? Oh, I got someone up. We're okay. We're okay. Yasmin?
Hola, buenas tardes a todos y pues bueno, estoy muy contenta de estar aquí y agradecida con Showtime de que me estén dando la oportunidad de pelear a Amanda Serrano de que bueno, sé que es una rival bastante dura, pero pues bueno, yo también tengo bastante experiencia, venimos por todo, va a ser una gran guerra como siempre, México, Puerto Rico de grandes batallas y esta vez no va a ser la excepción.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very grateful and very happy to be here on Showtime Boxing. I know that Amanda Serrano is going to be a very tough challenge. She has a lot of experience, but I also have a lot of experience. And I came all the way down here to give a great, big fight, how we always do when it's Puerto Rico versus Mexico.
Thank you. Thank you. And there have been so many historic fights between Puerto Rican fighters and Mexican fighters, and I expect this to be another one. I'm very proud to promote one of the best women fighters in the world, pound for pound, Amanda Serrano. I want to thank her manager, Jordan Maldonado, who's done an excellent job getting her attention. And before I promoted her, it was Jordan who got her the opportunities that she received. They're a fighting family. A round of applause for her sister Cindy, who just won a world championship herself. They are the only two sisters to hold legitimate world championships. They're the only two female Puerto Rican world champions. And along with Jose Pedraza, they're 2 out of the 3 Puerto Rican world champions now reigning. So it's my distinct pleasure to bring up a great fighter, Amanda Serrano.
Wow, thank you, Luke. Sounds good. I want to thank definitely Steven Espinosa for this great opportunity, for believing in females. I'm definitely not going to disappoint. Showtime Mayweather, thank you for allowing us to showcase our talent as well. I know Rivas is a tough fighter. She has concerns that this is my hometown and the judging, but if she stays true to her race, Mexican style, I'll stay true to my Puerto Rican style. We won't leave it to the judges. And as I'm going to say, tonight, that dog is going to stay here in Brooklyn.
That's what I'm talking about. Before we get to the co-main and the main, I'd like to acknowledge 2 Mayweather Promotions fighters who we recently signed that will be fighting on the card. First, Thomas Delorme. He's 23-2 with 15 KOs. He's a former world title challenger, and he'll be looking to put on an exciting show come Saturday night. Also like to acknowledge Kenny Robles. He's one of New York's top rising talents, right here from Staten Island, New York native, tough welterweight contender, and he'll be making his pro debut in a very, very exciting fight. Now on to the co-main event. This is the one I'm really looking forward to. Can't say enough about the 2 gentlemen who are about to come up. One, Jose Pedraza, very, very exciting young fighter, coming to represent for Puerto Rico. Tank, can't say enough about him. He's repping for Baltimore, and it's going to be a war. Both guys are looking to steal the show. Tank is looking to become world champion, and he only has 16 fights. And Pedraza, he has the mentality, no way, I'm going to let this youngster come and take my title. So come Saturday night, these 2 will put on a great, great show. So next up to the podium, this young man, he comes to us from Baltimore, Maryland. Very, very, very exciting fighter. And there's not enough accolades that I can describe him. I call him a young killer. When he comes to the ring, he comes with a mentality, he's not trying to leave it to the judges. He's coming to knock your head off. And they have a tremendous game plan come this Saturday night. If Pedraza's been overlooking him, he's in for a rude awakening. I know for a fact that Tank has had a very, very good camp. He had great sparring. He worked with 2 very, very exciting young amateur fighters. One, Shapiro Stevenson, and another young fighter out of here in New York, and he has some other very, very good quality sparring. So Tank has he's put in the work, and come Saturday night, he's going to take that IBF world title.
Right.
So without further ado, none other than Gervonta Tank Davis.
Thank y'all for coming out. First, I want to thank, God. Without him, it wouldn't be possible. I want to thank my promoter, Floyd Mayweather. I want to thank my manager, HEARN, and my team. I'm not really into, I'm more into fight mode right now. It's my first world title. My first world, fighting for the world title. This is my first chance. I had a great training camp. I trained with top amateurs. I know that Pedraza, gonna come to fight. He's a great champion. What can I say? I'm a great fighter. I want to talk about, leading up to this fight and my career. I started losing my faith into boxing. When I first started with Floyd Mayweather, it was a big step up for me. Just being a young fighter, the person I looked up to, and he actually took me under his wing, taking me on jets, and just riding through on boats and things like that, start making top dollars and things like that. And coming from where I come from, it was new for me. I start fighting for the money, the cars, the jewelry, and I lost sight at what I really came to do. So this fight, I dedicated myself. I dedicated, for my team, and I'm bringing my heart, my mind into, just doing it for the fans and showing the fans, showing my promoter, showing my manager what I'm really about, what I can really do in the ring. I'm not no Mike Tyson. I'm not no Floyd Mayweather. I'm not no Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm Javante Davis. January 14th, I will become a world champion. Thank you.
Jose Sniper Pedraza, the only reigning male world champion from Puerto Rico, in my mind is one of the best young fighters in the world. The IBF Junior Lightweight World Champion, 2008 Olympian. Has wins over a number of excellent fighters. Tevin Farmer, Michael Farinas, Andre Klimov, Ed Macharian in his last fight, Stephen Smith. This is a big opportunity for him. This is the first time he's getting to be co-featured in Brooklyn, in New York City, with the great Puerto Rican population, in the city. On a card that has a number of other fighters that have ties to Puerto Rico, like Delorme, like champion Serrano. This is a card that's, I think, of great appeal to Puerto Rican fight fans in the New York area. And Jose's not going to let them down. We're not looking past Javante Davis. When you look at a young man's record and he has 15 knockouts and 16 victories, we can bang. When your mentor who believes in you is Floyd Mayweather, we can fight. And we know you're going to make the most of this opportunity. And I know you're confident in victory. And so is the IBF world champion, Jose Sniper Pedraza.
Buenas tardes mi gente de Nueva York, mi familia, muchas gracias por venir.
Good afternoon, people in Puerto Rico. Thank you for my family for coming down.
Para mí es un placer y un honor estar aquí con todos ustedes compartiendo, ¿verdad? Me siento bien contento y orgulloso de representar a la isla.
I'm very proud and very grateful for being here and very proud of being able to represent Puerto Rico.
Bueno, vamos a lo que vinimos, a hablar sobre la pelea. Estoy bien preparado, tuve un campamento muy largo, intenso, teniendo unos guanteos bien similares al estilo de David.
Let's get to the fight. I've been training for a very long time, very intense. My camp is very strong. A lot of tough sparring sessions with people who has similar styles to Gervonta Davis.
David es un boxeador excelente, un joven bien talentoso, un récord impresionante.
Davis is a great fighter, very talented, very young, awesome record.
Pero aquí yo soy el campeón. Yo soy el campeón aquí. Como dije anteriormente, estoy bien preparado, vengo a hacer cualquier tipo de pelea.
Gervonta's a great fighter, but here I am the champion. I am the IBF World Champion, 130 pounds, and I'm prepared for anything that he might bring into the ring.
Aquí la verdadera pregunta es si él estará ready para hacer cualquier tipo de pelea. Yo lo único que tengo que decirle es que si se me cansa, se va por nocaut.
I just hope that he came ready for the fight, because if he's not ready, I'm going for the knockout.
Muchas gracias, Dios me los bendiga y nos veremos el sábado.
Thank you to everybody. See you Saturday. Good afternoon.
I just want to acknowledge the individuals that were that have been involved in the promotion of Jose Pedraza, Gary Shaw, who's not with us today, and from Puerto Rico, Javier Castillo, who is. So I'd like to acknowledge them. And before I introduce James DeGALE, I'd like to bring up to a microphone a young man. I call him a young man because he's a hell of a lot younger than I am. His dad's a legend in the sport of boxing, an old friend of mine. Barry Hearn, his company Matchroom Boxing, is now probably the preeminent promoter in the UK. Eddie Hearn.
I'm a bit nervous about what you're going to do with this microphone before I start. Good. Okay. This is great to be in New York, obviously not promoting this event, here to support James DeGALE, our fighter, and here as a fan for this tremendous show that Mayweather Promotions and Lou DeGALE have put together on Saturday night. Leonard, congratulations and Floyd on a great event. I can't wait to see not just the main event but also the show, particularly the chief support. Jose Pedraza is a great fighter, defeated our champion Stephen Smith in his last fight, and I've heard a lot of good things about Gervonta Davis, so good luck to you on realising your dream on Saturday night. The great thing about boxing is that it's full of passionate people, and when you look around on this stage, there's so many different characters and personalities, but there's so much passion, and that swells out into the room, not just people on the tables. And there's so many passionate people that are here that making boxing tick. So many people striving to achieve, not just in the ring, but out the ring. And when you look at the schedule for 2017, what the guys, particularly at Showtime, have done is incredible. To start a year with fights like DeGALE against Jack and Frampton against Santa Cruz in January is exceptional. And well done to Stephen Espinoza for continuing his passion for delivering great fights. Stephen is someone that you can pick up the phone to, talk to, for 20, 30 minutes about boxing. He's a fan. And to have someone driving a network who is passionate and is a fan of the sport, the fans are very lucky to have it. So many great fighters up here on the table, so many personalities. Lou DeGALE, congratulations. I know you've been through many eras of boxing and you're still standing strong. Jose Pedraza and Amanda Serrano, looks like Puerto Rico will be shut down this weekend. And well done, Stephen, for supporting women's boxing. Katie Taylor, our own charge in Ireland, is amazing to see women breaking down the barriers, and why shouldn't they be able to achieve in sport? Why shouldn't they be able to achieve on major networks as well and go and provide entertainment for fight fans? Forget that it's a woman, forget that it's a man, it's just a fight. It's just a product, and if it's entertaining, then it's great for fight fans to watch. BADOU Jack is a great fighter. I remember when he got beat by Derek Edwards many moons ago now, it feels like, everyone sort of felt like the hype train had stopped. You know, Mayweather's team were talking about him a lot. He fought a very strong puncher in Derek Edwards. The way that he's come back to capture the world title has been admirable. He's a very underrated fighter. But this guy here is a whole nother level. This guy here is one of the most talented fighters, and I think Lou or Leonard talked earlier about the most talented fighter out of the UK. Forget that. One of the most talented fighters in world boxing. The skills are sublime. In fact, maybe he should be a Mayweather fighter. I don't know. He's that skillful. You know, Floyd, you love skills. You're going to enjoy seeing this boy box on Saturday night, because it's like styles make fights. But there isn't really a style to beat James DeGALE, because he's that good. He adapts in so many different ways. And look at him in the gym. I mean, he can't stop taking his shirt off and showing everybody his six-pack. He's in the shape of his life. But he has a very tough fight against BADOU Jack. How many times in boxing do you genuinely get the chance to see 1 and 2 fight? There's not one person in this room that could say that the winner of this fight on Saturday night is not the #1 fighter in the super middleweight division. And that's what sport's all about. Of course there's money, there's politics, there's broadcasting issues, but isn't it just about being the best? That's what I liked about Gervonta Davis there, talking about the money and the cars and the planes. And then he realised, what got me off the sofa as a kid is becoming a champion, watching great champions raise the belts. And that's what it's all about. And for James DeGALE, the only thing that matters is being the best. The only thing that mattered to him was winning an Olympic gold medal. He won it. The only thing that mattered to him was becoming the first Brit to win an Olympic gold medal and then winning a world championship. He went out and done it. And on Saturday night, he gets the opportunity to become the #1 fighter, the unified champion in the super middleweight division. And let me tell you, he's going to do it. Don't be surprised if he wins every round in this fight. Don't be surprised. We have massive amount of respect for the New York Commission. We know we're going to get a fair crack of the whip. We've seen in his last fight, BADOU Jack, very unfortunate to receive a draw in that fight. A level playing field, that's all we want. Let the skills pay the bills, and this man has got the skills to take bank balances to another level. Enjoy the night, incredible night. Enjoy James DeGALE becoming a unified super middleweight champion. Let's hear it for the UK. And one thing before I go, one thing. Britain has always been a country full of heart, but very little skill. Very little skill. In fact, the British public prefer you sometimes to lose. You become more popular. It's a strange mentality. And over the years in boxing, the last 3 or 4 years, Britain has become the dominant force and the dominant market in world boxing. 13 world champions. Pay-per-view sales in the UK, all right, not rivaling Floyd, but smashing all the other stuff here out of the park. Out of the park. And the great news is, we're going to get better and stronger and stronger. And people like James DeGALE coming in, stay away from the mic, Floyd. Coming in, it's only going to raise the bar. Britain used to be a country of limited talent, big heart. Now, when you combine unbelievable talent with huge heart, it's the winning formula. Have a great night on Saturday night. Let's enjoy the show.
I'm glad you kept it so brief, Eddie. I'm glad you kept it so brief. Not much more to say. The guy to my left is a road warrior. I mean, he doesn't care where he goes. He throws down no matter where it is. He doesn't fear. You got nothing to worry about with the officials, by the way, you don't. We saw what happened when Carl Frampton fought here, with Leo Santa Cruz. The better man's going to win, whoever that is. And James Chunky DeGALE is a guy that's proven his willingness to go anywhere to fight the best. That's what he's doing Saturday night. He's fighting the best in an attempt to be the best. It's my honor to bring up James Chunky DeGALE.
You smashed it. Believe it or not, I ain't got much to say, you know. For once, I ain't got much to say. But camp's done. Had a wicked camp. Everything's gone well. On Saturday night, you're going to see two world-class fighters go at it, go to war. But I've got no question of a doubt that I will be victorious and I will be the super middleweight unified world champion. So it should be a hell of a night, a good fight. I think me and BADOU Jack, I think the stars are gonna gel. I honestly do. But don't be surprised. Don't be just watch out, enjoy. I'll see you Saturday.
Before I bring up BADOU Jack, I would like to acknowledge the WBC's presence here. Jose Suleiman, he couldn't make it. They're having a great memorial for his great dad, the very late Jose Suleiman. I'd like to acknowledge from the WBC, Jill Diamond. With every great fighter, there's always a great trainer. So I'd like to call up to the podium for a brief comment. BADOU's trainer, none other than the former light heavyweight world champion, Lou DeGALE.
First off, I want to say Floyd is right. I have a great woman to be successful. And I want to thank my woman. She's up there right now with my granddaughter. I want to say one thing to DeGALE. I'm a big fan. I've seen DeGALE fight southpaw. I love his style. I think he's a great fighter. A great fighter. But I just feel that we have a greater fighter. Very strong, very dedicated. I mean, Stacy, we talked about this, Mayweather, and my wife. And finally, the journey's here. That's it.
Next up, there are not enough accolades, compliments to describe this young man. Again, he's worked his way from the bottom to the top. And come Saturday night, he's going to put on a great, great performance. Chunky, he's very flashy and flamboyant, and the whole nine. I know BADOU and his team have a tremendous game plan in place, and he made the comment that BADOU might not win a round. You might not even see the end of the fight. So without further ado, Mayweather Promotions own the WBC Super Middleweight Champion of the World, and soon to be a unified champion from this Saturday night, BADOU Jack the Ripper.
I want to thank everybody for coming in here to the press conference. Thanks to Floyd Mayweather, Lynette Ellerby, Mayweather Promotion, my family, my little daughter up there, Team DeGALE, Eddie Hearn, Lou DeGALE, everybody in there. Champ versus the champ. It's finally here. And, let's get it on. I'm going to put up another show, and I'm going to be the unified champion, no matter what it takes. Thank you.
Now it's time, let's pose the co-main event first. The sniper and the one. We'd like to pose the fighters. And then after we pose the co-main event, we'd like to pose. No, actually we can pose the ladies first, if that's okay.